लिए लड़ूंगा। 1940 आज आप सब अपने से सवाल पूछें कि ये मुल्क क्यों बना था।
The man who raised $60 million for cancer research and who is now one of the most important political figures in Pakistan. The Cricketer International published an article about the new elite group of young talented players. Concepts like fashion and pop music, bent on challenging cricket's eternal stereotypes. Has always been a controversial figure, a man who gives rise to hot debate on account of his strong conviction and hard-line views. From his achievements on the cricket field as the Pakistan captain who captured the World Cup, and the game's best all-rounder in history, through to his racy social life. Imran Khan was born into Pashtun family in Lahore, and was educated at elite schools in Pakistan and the United Kingdom, including the Royal Grammar School in Worcester and HSN College in Lahore. There were several accomplished cricket players in his family, including two elder cousins, Javed Baki and Majid Khan, who both served as captains of the Pakistani national team. Imran Khan played cricket in Pakistan and the United Kingdom in his teens and continued playing while studying philosophy, politics and economics at the University of Oxford. Khan played his first match for Pakistan's national team in 1971, but he did not take a permanent place on the team until after his graduation from Oxford in 1976. By the early 1980s, Imran Khan had distinguished himself as an exceptional bowler and all-rounder, and he was named captain of the Pakistani team in 1982. Imran Khan's athletic talent and good looks made him a celebrity in Pakistan and England, and his regular appearances at fashionable London nightclubs provided fodder for the British tabloid press. In 1992, Imran Khan achieved his greatest athletic success when he led the Pakistani team to its first World Cup title, defeating England in the final. He retired that same year, having secured a reputation as one of the greatest cricket players in history. After 1992, Imran Khan remained in the public eye as a philanthropist. He experienced a religious awakening, embracing Sufi mysticism and shedding his earlier playboy image. In one of his philanthropic endeavors, Imran Khan acted as the primary fundraiser for the Shaukat Khanum Memorial Cancer Hospital, a specialized cancer hospital in Lahore, which opened in 1994. The hospital was named after Imran Khan's mother, who had died of cancer in 1985. After his retirement from cricket, Imran Khan became an outspoken critic of government mismanagement and corruption in Pakistan. He founded his own political party, PTI, in 1996. In national elections, held the following year, the newly formed party won less than 1% of the vote, and failed to win any seats in the National Assembly. But it fared slightly better in the 2002 elections, winning a single seat that Khan filled. Khan maintained that vote rigging was to blame for his party's low vote totals. In October 2007, Imran Khan was among a group of politicians who resigned from the National Assembly. Pervez Musharraf's candidacy in the upcoming presidential election. In November, Imran Khan was briefly imprisoned during a crackdown against critics of Musharraf, who had declared a state of emergency. The PTI condemned the state of emergency, which ended in mid-December, and boycotted the 2008 national elections to protest Musharraf's rule.
This election should be boycotted because it is a complete fraud. It is the election is, first of all, it is being without a credible judicial system, and with emergency, with the media gagged and the media muzzled, and the constitution suspended, how can you have any credible election in this situation? So we will recommend to the APTM parties to boycott this election. But of course, this decision will be taken in the next 48 hours.
In spite of the PTI's struggles in elections, Imran Khan's populist positions found support, especially among young people. He continued his criticism of corruption and economic inequality in Pakistan and opposed the Pakistani government's cooperation with the United States in fighting militants near the Afghan border. He also launched broadsides against Pakistan's political and economic elites, whom he accused of being westernized and out of touch with Pakistan's religious and cultural norms. In the months leading up to the legislative elections scheduled for early 2013, Imran Khan and his party drew large crowds at rallies and attracted the support of several veteran politicians from Pakistan's established parties. Further evidence of Imran Khan's rising political fortunes came in the form of an opinion poll in 2012 that found him to be the most popular political figure in Pakistan. Just days before legislative elections in May 2013, Imran Khan injured his head and back when he fell from a platform at a campaign rally. He appeared on television from his hospital bed hours later to make a final appeal to voters. The elections produced the PTI's highest totals yet, but the party still won less than half the number of seats won by the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz (PMLN). Imran Khan accused the PMLN of rigging the elections. After his calls for an investigation went unmet, he and other opposition leaders led 4 months of protests in late 2014 in order to pressure Sharif to step down. The protests failed to oust Sharif, but suspicions of corruption were amplified when the Panama Papers linked his family to offshore holdings. Khan organized a new set of protests in late 2016, but called them off at the last minute after the Supreme Court agreed to open an investigation. The investigation disqualified Sharif from holding public office in 2017, and he was forced to resign from office.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has resigned after the country's Supreme Court unanimously ruled that he should be disqualified over corruption allegations. Well, the ruling follows accusations relating to the Panama Papers published 2 years ago, in which Mr. Sharif's 3 children were implicated. He and his family deny any wrongdoing.
Imran Khan, meanwhile, was also revealed to have had offshore holdings, but, in a separate case, was not disqualified by the Supreme Court.
चीफ मिनिस्टर नवाज शरीफ एयरपोर्ट मुझे रिसीव करने आए जब हम हिंदुस्तान से जीत के आए। मैं कैप्टन भी था, मैन ऑफ द सीरीज था। एक दफा ही आज तक पाकिस्तान हिंदुस्तान को हरा के आया हिंदुस्तान में। चीफ मिनिस्टर नवाज शरीफ एयरपोर्ट पे आए, लाखों लोग एयरपोर्ट पे थे। उन्होंने मुझे तब कहा कि हम पंजाब गवर्नमेंट तुम्हें फ्लैट देना चाहती है, प्लॉट देना चाहती है। दूसरी दफा मेरे यहाँ पुराने दोस्त चौधरी निसार भी एयरपोर्ट पे आए थे। 92 वर्ल्ड कप जीत के आया जब मैं, तो 92 वर्ल्ड कप जीत गया तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर नवाज शरीफ ने प्लॉट दिया मुझे और सारी टीम को। अगर मैं पैसे का भूखा होता तो मैं ये प्लॉट अपने पास रखता। 92 और 93 में शौकत खानम के रिकॉर्ड है कि ये दोनों प्लॉट मैंने शौकत खानम को डोनेट किए। 2 गाड़ियां जीती क्रिकेट में, दोनों मैंने शौकत खानम को डोनेट की।
Elections were held the following year, in July 2018. Imran Khan ran on a platform of fighting corruption and poverty, even as he had to fight off accusations that he was too cozy with the military establishment. The PTI won a plurality of seats in the National Assembly, allowing Khan to seek a coalition with independent members of the parliament. He became Prime Minister on August the 18th. Imran Khan was offered political positions more than a few times during his cricketing career. In 1987, then President Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq offered him a political position in Pakistan Muslim League (PML), which he declined. he was also invited by Nawaz Sharif to join his political party. In 1993, Imran Khan was appointed as the ambassador for tourism in the caretaker government of Moin Qureshi and held the portfolio for 3 months until the government dissolved.
Richard, who's come from Australia, 60 minutes.
Prime Minister, a great pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to Pakistan.
Thank you very much indeed.
Is it your first visit?
Yeah, no, second. Are you proud of the young boy?
Oh yes, they've done extremely well.
If he was to go into politics, he'd be the right man to have on your team, would he?
I offered him a long time ago, but he declined. I don't know why.
Sensible.
My offer is still valid.
Imran Khan supported General Pervez Musharraf's military coup in 1999, believing Musharraf would end corruption, clear out the political mafias. According to Imran Khan, he was Musharraf's choice for Prime Minister in 2002, but turned down the offer. Imran Khan participated in the October 2002 Pakistani general election that took place across 272 constituencies and was prepared to form a coalition if his party did not get a majority of the vote. He was elected from Mainwali. In the 2002 referendum, Khan supported military dictator General Musharraf.
And how many political parties they are divorced? ये इनकी ये public से divorced हैं ये leaders बस अपने आपस में drawing room में बात कर रहे हैं और ये आ जाते हैं public इनके साथ नहीं है quite clearly नहीं है इनके साथ.
The reason why we back General Musharraf is only one reason, that he will keep the crooked and the corrupt politicians who neither our judiciary nor our election commission has been able to keep them out. Four times we have had governments kicked out for corruption. Each time the same politicians have come back into parliament and plundered the country more. So the reason why I want to vote for General Musharraf is because I hope that he can keep these crooks out of the political process.
On 30 October 2011, Imran Khan addressed more than 100,000 supporters in Lahore, challenging the policies of the government, calling that new change a tsunami against the ruling parties. Another successful public gathering of hundreds of thousands of supporters was held in Karachi on 25 December 2011. Imran Khan's foreign policy towards neighboring Afghanistan consists primarily of support for the Afghan peace process and also inaugurated a 24/7 border crossing with Afghanistan to facilitate travel and trade.
Mr. President, Pakistan's desire for peace in our region is also manifest in our efforts to promote a political solution in Afghanistan. I have consistently maintained over the past 2 decades that there is no military solution to the conflict in Afghanistan. The only way forward was and is a political settlement which involves the full spectrum of Afghanistan's political actors. Pakistan fully facilitated the process that culminated in the US-Taliban peace agreement on 29 February 2020.
He said that Pakistan will never recognize Israel until a Palestinian state is created, a statement in line with the vision of Pakistan's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Imran Khan also pursued a reset in ties with Gulf Arab states, such as the UAE and Saudi Arabia, with the UAE agreeing to roll over Pakistan's debt on an interest-free loan. Subsequently, Khan embarked on a 3-day visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in order to reset ties, where he was personally received at the airport by Mohammed bin Salman. The ties had become tense previously due to the unwillingness of Pakistan to contribute militarily to the civil war in Yemen. Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Pakistan confirmed that the Saudi government had approved a concessionary loan for building a hydroelectric dam, the Mohmand Dam. Imran Khan's government also improved ties with the Gulf state of Kuwait, as Kuwait confirmed it had lifted a 10-year visa ban on Pakistani nationals. 247. Khan's government enhanced economic ties with Qatar, which is expected to benefit Pakistan by US $3 billion over 10 years. by renegotiating terms in an energy supply deal, which saw a significant reduction in Pakistan's energy import bill compared to the previous deal. In domestic economic policy, Khan inherited a twin balance of payments and debt crisis, with a large current account deficit and fiscal deficit in 2018. Imran Khan's government sought a bailout from the IMF. In exchange for the bailout, Imran Khan's government slashed subsidy spending in the energy sector and unveiled an austerity budget to curb the fiscal deficit and limit government borrowing. Also, the IMF demanded that the Pakistani government depreciate the rupee and improve tax collection. Imran Khan government decided to raise import tariffs to collect high tax revenues and devalue the currency. This, alongside the heavy import duty, helped curtail the current account deficit. See import substitution. Pakistan's overall balance of payments position improved significantly following record high remittances in 2020, which stabilized the central bank's foreign exchange reserves. The fiscal deficit narrowed to less than 1% of GDP by 2020 due to the government's austerity policies. Thus, the rate of debt accumulation had significantly slowed, but Pakistan's debt remained high due to the high borrowing of previous governments, in which the current government had to allocate $24 billion to pay off loans taken during the tenure of previous governments. Aside from IMF-mandated reforms, Imran Khan government introduced policies to improve the business operating climate. As a result, Pakistan climbed 28 places higher on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. Pakistan ranked amongst the top 10 most improved countries in 2019. Pakistan's tax collection also hit record highs in 2019, as the government raised more revenue from domestic taxes with no increase in tax revenue from import taxes, given import compression had lowered the quantity being imported, so the government collected less tax revenue from imports. This trend continued into 2020, albeit at a slower pace. One-year-old Jemima Goldsmith in a 2-minute ceremony conducted in Urdu in Paris. A month later, on 21 June, they were married again in a civil ceremony at the Richmond Registry Office in England. Jemima converted to Islam. The couple have 2 sons. On 22 June 2004, it was announced that the couple had divorced, ending the 9-year marriage because it was difficult for Jemima to adapt to life in Pakistan. In January 2015, it was announced that Khan married British Pakistani journalist Reham Khan in a private nikah ceremony at his residence in Islamabad. However, Reham Khan later states in her autobiography that they in fact got married in October 2014, but the announcement only came in January the year after. On 22 October, they announced their intention to file for divorce. Khan had married his spiritual mentor, Murshid Bashra Bibi. Imran Khan is generally described as a nationalist, Islamic values. After the result of 2018 Pakistani general election, Imran Khan said he would try to remake Pakistan based on the ideology of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Please like and subscribe to Charag TV. And press the bell icon to get new video updates.